Hey friends, it's Awkwardly Random with Cinthia and Michelle, where we talk about random topics.
Anything and everything awkward is on the table, so let's dive right in.
Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Awkwardly Random.
With Cinthia and Michelle.
You gotta get on it.
I'm sorry. I like the little pause. I don't know.
Okay.
Okay.
Welcome back everyone. We're back with another episode. I'm so glad to be back and recording with you again, Michelle.
Same.
I have some updates, so we'll get
I
into
know. If you've read the title, you might guess what the update is.
Yes. We'll talk about it. But how have you been? How's your week? It's Saturday. What you got going on in life?
I have been really busy with work. I have this really hard case that I'm working on. So that's been my primary focus, work. But I did go to the movies last night and I saw Songbirds and Ballads.
Yeah.
The prequel to all the other Hunger Game movies. So that was pretty entertaining. I liked it. It was really long though.
I didn't understand the ending.
Really?
I feel like it was a little rushed.
You saw it too?
And
Okay.
I saw it a few days ago. So Eric came to visit from Milwaukee a weekend or so ago, and he's told us that he watched it, and I was like, well, I haven't even seen all the other movies yet. I saw the first and second. I didn't see Mockingjay Part 1 and 2.
Wow.
I know. But Jasmine and I decided to watch one a day and move, to work our way up to the one that's in the theaters, the prequel. So we finally watched all of them. I was like, okay, cool. This is awesome. I like the story.
Did you like them? Okay.
Yeah. I really like them. I really like.
Which one was your favorite?
Catching Fire. Is that what it's called? The second one. And I liked the ending. I liked the part 2 of Mockingjay.
Yeah.
They're all great, but those are my two favorites. And then I watched the prequel and I was like, okay, this is entertaining. Viola Davis, I think, was there.
Yeah, she was
acting
so
is
good.
Freaking amazing. Like, I really liked her character.
I thought all of the actors did amazing.
Yeah.
Compared to like the other movies, I would say the acting in this movie was better overall. Yeah, okay. I would say.
Yeah. But I don't want to spoil it because it's still new and it's still in theaters.
Yeah. So spoilers.
But later. But I was confused on some parts. I guess I didn't understand the full story.
Really?
And I wish there would be more. I don't want to say it.
Just say it. Spoilers, people. Skip to.
Yeah.
We'll put a specific time in the comment section, or we'll let you know when you can skip.
Okay, spoiler.
Skip this part.
So there's so much span of time between when the movie ends and where we see Snow in the first Hunger Games. Like, how does he get into his presidency? How does he, achieve that power? Like, I would like to know all of that. And then when Lucy Gray leaves and disappears, like, maybe I didn't catch it, or maybe I just didn't understand it.
Yeah.
I just was so lost in the ending. And I'm like, where'd she go? What happened with her? And then, like, what is going on with him? I don't know. So, questions.
The way that I understood the movie was that his father was like some sort of high position political person. So because of his father, he was able to do that easily. And the dean, the other guy, had mentioned it to him that that the only thing standing in his way to like be a powerful person in Panem was him, that he was gonna do everything he could to not allow him to do that because of his father, that he thought that he was just like his father, who was very cruel and stuff like that. So because I think in Panem, it really was who, like, because he came from that, his father, it would have been pretty easy for him to gain some sort of power in the capital. But I think the reason why you don't really know what happens with Lucy Gray is because that is what drives him and his obsession, I would say, with Katniss.
Yeah.
That Katniss reminded him so much of Lucy Gray. And I think you kind of see that throughout how like their interactions. And
Hmm.
because he doesn't know, that is a mystery to him. And so that
Hmm.
haunts him. So whenever Katniss comes along, that's why he has like this weird thing with her.
Yeah.
And so I think that at least that's how I understood it.
And that makes a lot of sense. And so but why did Lucy disappear? Is it when she found out that he had killed more people than she knew of? Or I guess I'm wondering what happened, like why she did all of that.
Well, she couldn't trust him. I think she talked about
Yeah,
like
because
the
of that, right?
strongest.
Yeah.
Yeah, but at the same time, like the movie touched on the question of Snow, whether he was always this evil, cruel person, or did
Yeah.
he become this cruel
Yeah.
person? And so
Yeah.
I think that at least that's how I saw like the main question. And
Hmm.
so I think she saw him. I didn't think she ever trusted. I mean, she trusted him at some point, but then I think that went away when she
Hmm.
saw what he was capable of doing to
Yeah.
protect his own interests. And
Yeah.
so that's why she left.
Yeah. It's very
It's
interesting
a
messaging.
toxic relationship.
Yes, yes. But just very interesting messaging about um how, if are people born, with that evilness in them, or do they become bad, kind of how Snow becomes this like really horrible person in his presidency and all the shit that he does.
Yeah, but he was always horrible, I would say. I think
Yeah,
that,
so
and
was he
he's
born, is it because of like his upbringing? Is it always like, has it always been part of him? I don't know.
no, yeah. I don't think it's always been part of him, but it definitely was his upbringing. But I thought it was interesting how he, at the end of the movie, came to the point where, like, he said that as humans, this is what we are. And, like,
Yeah,
he wanted to feel in power. And
yeah.
that's why he did what he did and did what he did in the future movies. So
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was pretty interesting.
Yeah. Thanks for clearing that up. I was so confused at the end.
I don't know. That's my interpretation. I was like, oh my gosh.
I mean,
I
it
and I
makes
get,
sense.
but it
Yeah.
also leaves room for, I guess, speculation as to how exactly he got to become a president because there's different ways about doing it. But I'm sure he continued to do more shady stuff.
It would be cool to have another movie where we follow him after that point, after Lucy Gray disappears.
Mm-hmm.
What happens after that and how he
Yeah.
becomes president in the future. I think that would be cool to see.
Yeah, he's terrible. He like got his friend killed and it was so bad. It was such a dark movie too, and I definitely think a lot darker than the other Hunger Game movies.
You
Yeah,
think this was the darkest one out of all of them?
yeah.
Okay.
Just because of how they treated all the tributes, like they literally kept them in a zoo, didn't give them any food, like no showers, nothing. Like they didn't care if they had any like someone had tuberculosis, another one had rabies, like they didn't care.
Mm-hmm.
And so, it was ugh, it was
Yeah.
disgusting.
So good movie?
I would say it was I don't know if I would rewatch it, just but I guess it was entertaining for the first time, but
Yeah.
yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know.
Okay. Did you read the books?
I only read the first book.
Okay. I think I only read the first book too.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, if y'all saw it, let us know what you think. The spoiler conversation ends right
I
here.
know. Sorry.
So,
If you
yeah.
watched it, let us know what you think.
Yep. Okay. What else? Okay, so you went to the movies. Anything else? What you got going on?
Oh yeah, and I'm going to Atlanta for a work trip this upcoming tomorrow and then
Oh,
coming back on
cool.
Wednesday, so that'll be fun.
Nice. I've
Mhm.
never been there. Cool.
What about you? What is new with you?
So yeah, I also went to see that movie. I've been watching the David Beckham documentary. I'm only on episode 2. Um,
Okay.
so I'm not too far, but spoiler, another spoiler conversation
Another.
for anybody who hasn't seen this. Dude, I didn't realize how hated he was when he freaking got that red card in that World Cup game.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay, I didn't know how good he was at soccer.
wait, what? Wait, what do
I
you mean?
don't know. I wasn't aware of just how good he was. Like, I didn't know. Like,
But
I've
you
been
knew he
going
was a
through my
professional
life.
soccer player, right?
I knew he was, yeah, but you know,
Okay.
when you like, we grew up, like, we were like, how we were we even born
I
then?
mean,
Like,
we were really, really young, if that. Like,
yeah.
yeah, this was a
And
long.
I don't actually remember like learning about his professional career. I just thought that he was this really good looking soccer player who is a model and has these brands. Like, I didn't know he was actually good, like amazing. I was like,
Love it.
what the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah.
It was funny.
Yeah. He was a very, very famous soccer. Well, he is still very like
Yeah.
a soccer player now and has his own team in Miami with
Mhm.
Leo Messi, which is cool. Uh,
Yeah.
but he was so good, right? He was one of the best players on the team, if not the best player on the team, playing for England in the World Cup. And he gets this
Yep.
card and they lose the game, and people are blaming it on him, uh, sending him death threats. I'm like, it's a game. Like, yes, it is an important game. It's a World Cup game, but damn, it is not life and death here. It should not be life and death here. It's just
Yeah. Oh my
mind blowing.
gosh.
I
Yeah.
didn't realize how like intense and serious it was for people.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
I know. And I think the UK, like, England media is just ruthless.
Hmm.
And I think we've seen it throughout, like Princess Diana, and then with Meghan Markle, like they're just ruthless.
Yeah. Oh, there was no mercy shown at all.
Yeah.
So that sucks. But anyway, I'm excited to continue watching it.
Hmm.
Um,
He seems
yeah,
really sweet, even though he was like a cheater
yeah. He's
in his
charming.
marriage.
He has charm.
Yeah. Yeah, but he seems like a really good apparent, like from what you see. Well,
Yeah.
you will see that he seems like a really
Yeah.
like just genuine person. But I don't know. That's just
Yeah.
what they're showing us. So
Yeah. So yeah, I've been watching that. And then getting ready for this big transition in my life. So we'll get into it.
yeah,
Mish, I am moving for love.
you are. How do you feel?
I'm actually excited for this. So
Yeah.
news, y'all. So
Main topic. We're getting into the main topic
this is
now.
the main topic now. Jasmine is studying to become a pilot. I don't know if I probably have talked about this on in a previous episode.
Hmm.
But for those who don't know, Jasmine is working towards becoming a pilot. She's going to school in Texas. We currently live in Wisconsin, and I've made the decision to move with her slash for her. So this is gonna be a big transition. She's basically the biggest reason as to why I'm moving. Otherwise, I wouldn't ever really consider moving to Texas. No hate, I just never thought about it. Um, but also a little bit of hate because it's a very, very red state. Um,
Yeah. Very,
so
very.
yeah, so I'm moving for her. This is the first time I ever move for someone. So this is kind
Mhm.
of a big deal for me. But I'm excited. I'm a little nervous for change. Change is always can be scary, I guess. And I think the hardest thing for me is going to be being away from my family. But I know I can always come back if I need to.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, we're going to talk about moving for your partner, what that's like, what it comes with, our
Mhm.
experiences with it. You have
Yeah.
a little bit of experience with it too.
Yeah. I think this topic is pretty common, I think.
Yeah.
Um, Especially because people can move around freely within the United States. And so I do think that this happens a lot.
Mhm.
Um, for me specifically, I wouldn't say specifically moved maybe anywhere for a partner or for love,
Mhm.
but I know that my partner Jesus did move to New York City with me when I got the fellowship in Brooklyn
Mhm.
about 2 years ago. So he also moved for me for a job. So yeah, that was the experience that I have. And then I would say that when I decided to go to Minnesota or come to Minnesota for law school, I did come for law school, but to come to Minnesota, a factor was that he, Jesus lived here and that he,
Mhm.
had his family here too. So, um, I wouldn't say in that situation it was that I moved here for love. I moved here for law school.
Mhm.
But I do understand still the idea of leaving your family
Mhm.
for either school, for work, or whatever other reason. Um, yeah, I feel like people go through the same emotions.
Quick question. So when you were applying for law school, do you feel like you would have still applied to school in Minnesota even if Jesus was not in Minnesota?
Yes,
Okay,
because I, for some reason, didn't want to be in Wisconsin anymore.
that's fair.
I was like, I'm not trying to go to school here.
Yeah.
So I just applied to different schools in the Midwest too.
Mhm.
Um, and so I did get into schools in Illinois, Minnesota, and Wisconsin, but um, I guess the factor was that Jesus was in Minnesota that made me come to Minnesota.
Yeah. Okay. So before this, we're in Wisconsin now, but how we got to Wisconsin is Jasmine moved here for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I met her in Chicago. I moved to Chicago solely for school, and similar to you, while Madison is my home and my family's here, I wanted to explore a different place, live somewhere else, see what that's like for me. So I
Mm-hmm.
decided to not even apply to schools in Wisconsin, and I got into a graduate school in Chicago. Moved to Chicago solely for school and just to kind of spread my wings a little bit, and that's where I met Jasmine. And
Mm-hmm.
one weekend we came over to Madison to visit my family. This was when we were like more serious and stuff. And she was going to meet my family and stuff like that. So she came over and she was like, whoa, it was like you were a different person. I've never seen you this happy. Like you light up when you're with your family. And some we had some talks later on after that about moving in together and would we want to stay in Chicago? Would we want to move somewhere else? Also financially, where is it more affordable? And she was like, why don't we go to Madison? You'll be close to your family. So this was her idea to move to Madison, but she had
Mm-hmm.
no ties to Madison and she never really thought that she'd live in Wisconsin of all places. So
Mm-hmm.
for her, it was like, I would never really go there, but I'm really only going there for you because I know how happy you are with your family.
Yeah.
Um,
So does she
so
like
yeah,
Madison?
yes. So now she likes it. She wouldn't live here permanently, I don't think.
Mm-hmm.
Although it's really cool to see how my family has welcomed her with open arms, and she's basically part of the family now.
Yeah, that's
And she'll
amazing.
hang out with my sister even without me. So I think
Mm-hmm.
that has helped her a lot too in
Yeah.
being happier, I guess, here.
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting to see her change in her mindset a little bit, where before it
Yeah.
was like, damn, this is all country, like what is over here? It's a lot of white people, and it's so tiny compared to Chicago where she's from, and it was a lot of things.
Yeah.
She was like, I don't know how I feel about this. And then meeting my family and meeting some of my friends and just kind of like getting to know the city a little bit more. She's like, okay, I could see us possibly coming back after, if I were to come and work in the Midwest, I could see us living back here again.
Mhm.
So it's just interesting seeing her
Yeah.
change in that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she moved for me. I did
Yeah.
ask her like I asked her that and she said, yeah, you're the only reason. So that's for sure.
Okay. Okay. Sounds
And
good.
I asked her, um, did you ever consider or thought that or had the expectation that I should move for you at some point in the future? And
Mhm.
she said no. She was like, it was never transactional and I don't expect you to do it for me. It
Mhm.
would be nice. Um,
Yeah.
but that wasn't like something that she had in her mind, I guess, when she made the decision to move.
Yeah.
So it's
But don't
interesting.
you but don't you think someone saying, "Oh, it would be nice," makes it in a way make you feel like, "Oh, well, you did it for me, I should do it for you."
Well, I felt that regardless of if she said that or not,
Yeah.
because that did play a role into my decision to move to Texas. It's like, dang, she
Mm,
did this big change for me. She made this big move for
yeah.
me. Part of me
Yeah.
And that's just being very honest. Like part of me is
Yeah,
feeling
that's
that
real.
pressure, you know, and I think that's very real for a lot of
I
people.
think it's common to
Yeah.
have that. I mean,
Yeah,
I felt that, to be honest, with
you did.
Jesus moving
Okay.
to New York City. I mean, because yeah, like thinking about like what the other person is also leaving behind.
Hmm.
Um, but in this case with Jesus, like it's New York City. He also told me that he's been wanting to move to New York City at some point
Yeah.
in his life and experience what it was like there. So, um, I feel like that made him excited too. But at the same time, I think you're right. Like you sometimes subconsciously feel like, well, this person did so much for me. Like
Hmm.
I want to do the same thing, you
Hmm.
know? So that I think that makes sense. And that's a
Yeah.
normal feeling to have.
Yeah. So I mean I do have that feeling, but I'm not that's not the sole reason why I'm moving, or
Mhm.
it's not playing really a big role into my decision to move. But I guess when she said it would be nice, I guess I took it as like, of course I would love for you to come with me. Why wouldn't I? That's kind of
Mhm.
how I took that. Um,
Mm.
but yeah, I still feel that pressure. But I am excited to move. I think the biggest thing for me, Michelle, is when my mom said, like, you have
Oh
wings,
yeah.
spread them, you know, like
Yeah.
you can come back, you can stay with me if you really aren't happy. We support you. And I take my mom's opinions very seriously and I
Yeah.
value them so much. So I always take her into consideration when I
Yeah.
make decisions like this. So I
That's so
think the fact that I had her support is making it easier for me to make this move. I think for
yeah,
me.
I think that's important. That's really nice that your mom has your back and
Yeah.
she's supporting you in this decision and she knows that like, whatever anything can happen, but that she has your back regardless. So that's really nice.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what we're doing. We're moving to Texas.
Ooh, I
Podcast
have
will
to go visit
continue.
you. I know.
Yeah, come visit,
Uh
please.
yeah, I definitely will. Okay, so I know that we talked about like briefly, but should people expect their partners to move for them?
So I'm not gonna tell people what to expect and not to expect. You can expect what you want.
I love that
um,
answer.
but I wouldn't feel comfortable expecting that of people, and I wouldn't feel comfortable people expecting that of me.
Yeah.
I don't know. For me, it shouldn't like a relationship
Um,
isn't transactional in that way, or I don't think it should be. But
yeah.
I don't know. How do you feel about that?
I think it depends.
Yeah.
I think like I agree with you. Like I'm not gonna tell people what to expect from the relationship, but I do think that there's certain expectations once you're
Yeah.
married and once you have kids. So if those are factors, then I would say yes. If you're married and you have kids, then I do think that there's some sort of level of consideration of moving for your partner.
Yeah.
But me being like not married, not having kids, I don't have that expectation. Yes, it would be nice for my partner to consider it, but I wouldn't want to put that expectation on them. And I also wouldn't also agree with you. I agree with you where I wouldn't want to put that expectation on me. But I definitely would consider moving for my partner.
So is the expectation for you or your partner to consider it? Is that a fair expectation to have? I think it
Yeah, I
is.
think so. Yeah.
At least to consider it.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But to just flat out say no without even
Right.
thinking about it, I think
Right.
yeah, no.
That's fair. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Would you ever or could you ever see yourself moving solely for your partner?
Dropping everything and just moving for love,
Mm-hmm.
I would consider it.
That's gonna be our answer for everything.
I would
Took
definitely
into
consider it.
consideration.
It's just that because um I've worked so hard for
Yeah.
my career and so I want to keep doing this for as much as I can. So if I'm able to do what I'm doing in another place, that's amazing. Or but I can't just flat out just say yes right away without thinking about it and figuring out my plans because I need to have my own goals and ambitions if I'm moving. Like, I can't just be like, drop everything. Yes, I'm going with you because I love you. Because I do think love is important. And that's what will sustain a relationship. But I also think that having your own personal like goals and ambitions and what you want for your life is also important. And what you want together is important too.
Yeah. I think for
So I
some
don't know if,
people it does work to drop everything, and
yeah, for some,
yeah,
yeah. Yeah.
and they're happy to do it, and it's like I'll make it work over there. I'll find something that I love over there and I'll figure it out. And for some people
Mm-hmm.
that works. I think for me, well, for this particular move, it's helpful that my job is fully remote. So
Mm-hmm.
the transition, I'm not having to like scramble to find a different job or things like that. So that's also
Mm-hmm.
like a factor for me. But if I and I love my job, so I would want to keep I would want to continue doing what I'm doing. But if I were working in person, I think I'd have to think about it a little bit more, and that's just
Mm-hmm.
reality. Um, and then also I would want more information as to, okay, where are you trying to move? Why are we moving? Give me the information, I
Yeah.
have to consider like these like long-term factors, right? And like
Yep.
again, being away from family is a big deal for me. So I'd have to really think about it. And it's not saying that I don't love you and I don't want to be with you. I think
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm it's okay to hold those two things together where it's like I love you and also I need to figure this out, or let's talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Just like saying, yeah,
Yeah.
I'll drop everything, no problem. Which for some people it works.
Yeah. Some people it does. And yeah, I'll definitely consider it.
That's so professional.
I don't, do I sound bad saying that? Like, I just think that
No.
it's realistic to just consider it. I can't say that at the drop of the hat, I'm gonna move.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, I feel like usually, yes, like you said, you'll talk through it, you'll figure out
Yeah.
where are you going, how long is this? And yeah, I think it can be figured out. If everything is figured out, then yeah, I'll move.
Yeah.
Um, but I can't just like make quick decisions like that.
That made me think about like how long we've been in our relationships.
Mm-hmm.
I think that also plays a role because if I'm
Mm-hmm.
dating you for 6 months, I'm not sure. I'm not sure, right? If I'm just gonna drop everything and move for you. Or
Yeah.
like I think because I truly love Jasmine and we've been together for
Mm-hmm.
almost 3 years. We've lived together. So I know what that's like to live with her and be with her day to
Yeah.
day during our daily routines. I think that's like the biggest part is I know what that's like. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy and I would love to continue that, whether it's here or somewhere else. I think that's also helping me make this decision because we had considered long distance. But I think
Mm-hmm.
it's hard when you go from living together to long distance,
Yeah.
if you start off long distance and then move in together, it's different.
Yeah, it
But
is.
yeah, we have to be together a long time for me to consider moving for you.
Nice.
Okay,
Um,
next question.
okay. How did y'all come up with the decision to move? What factors should be considered when contemplating a move for a relationship?
Finances.
Yeah, finances, logistics, I guess, in
6.
moving, like, are you flying there? Are you driving? Pets, if you have pets, figuring that out.
That's a big one.
Um, finances, I guess, goes with jobs and like finding a place to live,
Mm-hmm.
that you can afford.
Mm-hmm.
Um, family, like you said, relationships, friends. I think that's important. I think all of those, what I'm listing, are things that I would consider
Yeah.
into factors.
Yeah, I would do all of that. I would also consider possibly
Location.
having, yeah, location and like a plan B, right? If if it doesn't work out, what can I do?
Okay, yeah. What do you mean by if it doesn't work out? Like,
So I think about like the possibility, I don't think this is going to happen, but the possibility of me being so unhappy over there because again, away from family, I don't know anybody. It's really hard to make friends this day and age and
yep.
being social, and I have a limited my social battery is not as big as it was when I was in my 20s and in college and stuff like that.
Mm,
So, and especially working remotely too, like I am at home a lot. So it takes a lot for me to step outside of my comfort zone and like put myself out there to meet new people. So
mhm.
I don't know, right? I
Yeah.
I'm scared that I'm gonna be really unhappy. Maybe I'll be sad the first few weeks, maybe months, because it's new and I'm gonna miss my friends and family. But I don't want to reach a point where I'm feeling like super anxious and sad and depressed. I don't want to reach that point where I'm just not happy there. And all
Yeah.
I think about is coming back, and what happens if that happens, you know.
Mhm.
I don't know. I don't know if I'm being pessimistic. I don't know if but I just want to be prepared if that does happen. Can I come back and stay with my family? Which I can. I have
Yeah.
that ability, which I'm really grateful for.
Yeah. I think it's good that you're thinking about these things. And
Yeah.
yes, plan B to like come back. But I also think that you and Jasmine should talk about, like, I'm sure you have, but talk about things to do in Texas
Yes.
for yourself specifically,
Mhm.
because you like your situation versus what Jasmine is going to be doing. Like she's going to school and stuff like that, but you're
Yep.
going to be at home working, and like what are things that you can do
Mhm.
either on your own or with Jasmine to help with like coping, because you are gonna it is going to be like a culture shock, I think, like where you're going versus like where you're like in Madison. It's different, the
Mhm.
people are different, and figuring out what you can do to help, or
Yeah.
to help yourself or to make friends and do stuff like that. And so I think that that's real. I think that's something that Jesus and I talked about when we moved to New York, because we both moved to New York. We didn't know anybody. I mean, we didn't have any friends there. So we essentially were creating a life together there.
Mhm.
And so I think that that made us closer,
Mhm.
because, the only people that we knew were each other. But
Yep.
then we were also trying to figure out ways that, like, even in a big ass city like New York, we sometimes also felt like lonely. Like it's
Mhm.
like there's so much to do. So we would go out to do things, but it was hard because our family wasn't close, and really close friends weren't there. So even in a big city like that, we sometimes felt that way.
Yeah. We did have that conversation about what can we do to meet people, right? Like I know
Mhm.
there's in the apartment complex the that we're s- we where we're gonna stay, they have clubs for like the
Mhm.
tenants. So it's like
Yeah.
really cool. They have like a book club and like a tennis club and cooking club and whatever. So it's like,
Yeah.
so we talked about, oh, let's see if we can join one, or I can join something that interests me and then you could join something else that interests you. And we did have that conversation, and I think that's gonna be really, really important to help with the transition.
Mhm.
But it can be
Nice.
lonely, like you said.
Yeah, so you already talked about your mom being amazing. Shout out to your
Yeah.
mom.
Shout out, mom.
Supportive. That's the way a mother should be. You got that. That's amazing. Shout out. All right. What else? What did your other family members say? What did your friends say? I, as your friend, I was shocked. I'm just
What?
being honest. I was shocked because
Why?
because well because you had mentioned that I had known about Jasmine wanting to be a pilot, and I thought that was amazing, but I didn't know like how quickly it was going to happen.
Yeah.
And that was part of the shock. But then also like knowing you, and I feel so proud of you that you've
Oh, thank
been
you.
so like open to love and to this relationship, and this is a big step. And
Mhm.
I don't know, like you're just very different from when I first met you. And so I feel like you are definitely more open to like with your emotions and how you're
Mhm.
feeling. And I don't you seem really happy. So I was really like it just came as in general like a whole like a shock. And I've seen like you
Yeah.
grow as a person since we first met. So
Mhm.
yeah. But the news in terms of the timing was just like, oh my gosh, I didn't expect this. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's fun that you're going on a new adventure with Jasmine. And like you said, like um it's good to be prepared and for whatever happens, and just
Mhm.
going with it in a positive with a positive mindset.
Yeah. Thank you for saying all that. I'm shocked that you were shocked.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, it was it was a fast, like it came really fast, right? So
Mhm.
we just moved to Wisconsin a year ago, and
Yeah.
we had just renewed our lease when we
Yeah.
found out that she got in, and her start date is in January. So we found this out
Yeah.
just a few months ago. So I don't know. The last maybe 2 months have been a blur because everything
Mhm.
has just been like, okay, we have to get this ready. We have to find an apartment. We have to let our jobs know. We have to figure the logistics of it. But before that,
Mhm.
I had to like first think about, okay, am I moving or am I staying?
Mhm.
Like what's
Yeah.
happening here? So everything was fast. So I can kind of get I get that part of it. I'm I guess I don't know. I'm surprised that you were surprised because I've been with Jasmine for a few years now, like 3 years. And yeah, I'm
Mhm.
very happy. And you've met her already and you've talked to her over
Mhm.
FaceTime. And uh,
Yeah.
I was not surprised with myself that I
Mhm.
decided to do this. I think
Mhm.
had it been years ago, yes,
Mhm.
this
Yeah.
would have been like, who are you? Like, this is not like you. But I think I've grown into myself more and I'm
Mhm.
like more open to certain things and less
Mhm.
afraid of certain of other things. So
Mhm.
I don't know, I feel like I'm talking in circles, but it's just interesting to hear you say that you were shocked.
Yeah. How
Interesting.
did your other friends take it? Or
um
your sister or your cousins and stuff like that?
my sister was like, "What? You're moving to Texas?" But for both of us.
See?
Like not so much the fact that I'm moving for Jasmine, but the fact that we're both moving away
Mhm.
was like,
Mhm.
damn, like I'm excited for you, but also that sucks because we
Mhm.
I think moving to Madison has brought my sister and I closer. And we
Mhm.
spend a lot of time together now. Like during the week, we'll like hang out, on a
Yeah.
random weekday. I'll see them every weekend. I'm gonna hang out with them today.
Yeah.
My sister, it's like me, Jasmine, and my sister a lot. Like we hang out a lot, and my niece. So it's gonna be really sad and hard for all of us. And I think it's gonna be hard for
Mhm.
my sister too because now Eric's not here. Eric's in Milwaukee, and then I
Yeah.
will be in Texas. So it'll just be her and my mom here in Madison.
Mhm.
Um, so she wasn't necessarily shocked, like I said, that I would be moving for Jasmine, but she was like, "Damn, you just moved to Madison and now you're leaving again."
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that's the harder part. Um,
Yeah. But it's still shock,
yeah, I think there's
right?
a shock
Yeah.
factor in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is a shock factor in there. My friends, yeah, same thing. I mean, it's like, wow, you're moving to Texas, like that's exciting, but how are you feeling?
Mhm. Mhm.
Supportive questions like that.
Yeah.
So that's been really cool. I think also part of it is that Jasmine and I have been together for a while. They've met her, they know her.
Mhm.
Um, they approve, I guess. I don't know if that's
Yeah.
like a thing that should be like I don't know if that's like a real thing, right? Like you need your friend's approval of your partner, but it does make me feel good that you guys like her.
Yeah.
And that she likes you. And we went on
Mhm.
that cabin trip and it was a great
Oh
time.
yeah.
We had a lot of
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, we
And
didn't even talk about that. Yeah.
yeah, y'all, we went on a cabin trip like a few weekends ago, by the way.
Yeah. That was
Um,
fun.
yeah, but Jasmine was almost not gonna come because that weekend she had planned some flight lessons that like during that time. So she was
Mm.
almost, but then it got canceled due to weather. Like certain things just
Oh, okay.
happened where she couldn't go to her class anymore or do anything for flying. So she's like, I'm free that weekend. So she
Yeah.
ended up coming and it was really cool for her to spend that time with y'all
Yeah.
and for y'all to spend that time with her. And so I think that helps a lot because I know you and I know my other friends, like y'all will tell me straight up if you have certain hesitations about something because it's out of love.
Mhm.
It's not like
Mhm.
you're trying to make me feel bad or anything. And I would do the same thing for you. Um,
Mhm.
like just be honest to each other. And
Yeah.
so it's yeah, it's interesting and it's cool and I'm very grateful to have that support from all of my friends.
Yeah.
Like, everybody's been so cool about it. Um,
Mhm.
so yeah, I mean, I'm lucky. I haven't had any like
Yeah.
crazy like no, this is a bad idea. Like I don't
Yeah,
know.
but at the same time, I don't know if it's people's place to say that too. You know, I think that you are an adult, like you can make
Yeah.
your own decisions, and
Mhm.
I wouldn't ever say that to anybody,
Would
in my
you,
opinion.
but you and I being really, really close friends, would you tell me if you had some thoughts, other thoughts about it? Like, I- even like as like when you're best friends with someone, I'm not saying I have the right to say don't do this.
Yeah.
But I guess what
Yeah.
I'm trying to say is like, as your friend, I want you to be happy and okay and safe. And like, if,
Mhm.
let's say like I didn't ever meet Jesus, I never knew of him. You had just been with him for like 6 months.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna tell you, hey, what are you thinking? What
Yeah.
are you feeling? Like, what,
Yeah.
let's talk about it.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, in that sense,
No.
yeah, I would say yeah. Like
Hmm.
talking through things with people like, "Hey, like, did you think about this and that?" And I think I've done
Yeah.
that with you, and I think you've done that with me in
Hmm.
different situations, but I think you mentioned, like, if something was a bad idea, which, I can never say that about
Hmm.
someone's decision. So I don't think I would say that.
Yeah. Those are wrong
Um,
choice of words. I guess what I
but
meant to say is hesitation is okay from a
yeah.
friend.
And I don't even know if like the month part is even a big factor, like how long you've been with someone. Obviously, yeah, like less than 6 months. Like, but at the same time, I've seen people do that and it's worked for them.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but like again, like
Case by case basis.
considering different things. Yeah.
How did your friends and family react to all your moves? I guess you've had quite a few moves already.
Yeah, super supportive. My mom has always been super supportive. She actually thought I was going to stay in New York for a little bit longer than I did.
Mm-hmm.
And she also thinks that I'm going to move again, which, may be true. I don't know.
Yeah.
So yeah, my mom's always been super supportive. My sisters too.
Mm-hmm.
My friends have, I think. I don't know. I don't feel like I really discuss like my moves too much with my friends. I just feel
Yeah.
like, hey, I'm moving. And, I don't know if that really comes into discussion with certain
Mm-hmm.
friends, but yeah, everyone's been really supportive
Mm-hmm.
about it. I mean, but yeah, I do get homesick and
Yeah.
all of that. But yeah, I've never had any pushback.
Yeah. Okay. That's good. Shout out to our
Mhm.
families and our friends. I think we have good people
Yeah,
in our lives.
we do. Yeah.
Okay, next question. Where are we at?
Oh, how do you handle the potential challenges of leaving behind friends and family when moving for a relationship? Ooh, that one's hard.
Yeah, I don't know if there's one way to handle it. I think for me, it's just gonna be daily FaceTime calls.
Yeah.
Just like staying in touch as much as possible, calling my mom, calling my
Mm-hmm.
sister, parent,
Yeah.
brother. I don't know.
Yeah, surprisingly, since I've moved away, like I haven't really lived at home in Milwaukee since I was 18. But
Hmm.
I'm still very close to my mom. And I
Yeah.
think I'm the closest to my mom compared to my other sisters, and they live in Milwaukee.
Hmm.
So because I talk to my mom pretty much every day.
Yeah.
But that's different for different people. That's personally me. I talk to my mom every day.
Yeah.
My sisters, I talk to them like every 2 to 3 days. Like we text each other or we FaceTime. I FaceTime with my nephew at least once a week or twice a week. So
Hmm.
for me, I've kind of learned how I can handle and maintain those relationships with family. I think where I struggle a little bit more is with friends. Um,
Hmm.
because I do have like you and other people
Hmm.
who have been friends for a while that's been
Hmm.
hard to like get together or like
The
things are
freaking
just
cabin
different
trip took
now.
forever.
Yeah,
The
like it
the
just
cabin.
yeah, there's a lot of things that factor into staying in contact. But I know that at any point I can reach out to you or
Yeah.
any of my other friends. So I think that has been a little bit more difficult to figure out. But at the same time, it's not really difficult because I know that my relationship with those close friends are good. Um, so yeah,
And you can always text your friends, call them,
yeah,
FaceTime.
yeah.
It may be hard to schedule like a time to meet each other up. I think, I mean, we're going to be on opposite sides of the country. And even when we're
Hmm.
next to each other, you're in Minnesota, me in Wisconsin, we still haven't had a chance to see
I
each other, to
know.
visit one another. So, like,
I visited you.
yeah,
Yeah,
you visited me a few times. You did. Yeah. Yeah. Um,
yeah.
but like, it is hard. It is hard to
Mhm.
make that happen with different schedules and people have different things
Yeah.
going on. So this cabin trip, like we had talked about doing a trip as a group probably
Yeah.
over a year. Like it was been a while. It's been a hot
Really?
we
Oh.
planned it. Yeah. So we've talked about it. I know I've talked to about it with Chastity,
Mm,
and other friends of like, we should really plan a trip together.
yeah.
And I'm so glad that it finally happened, at least right before
Yeah.
I moved, because I think that's going to be another thing is I'm going to be farther away. So that's going to be hard
Hmm.
to fly it over.
Yeah. And apparently people want to do this every year. So I'm gonna hold y'all to it.
All
Hold
right.
y'all to it.
Accountability partners. We got
For
to hold
real.
each other to it for real.
I'm just kidding. But yeah, ways to handle it is, yeah, FaceTiming, messaging,
Remember when we did Zoom
scheduling.
game night?
Yeah. Yeah, that was during the pandemic. That was fun.
Yeah.
We could do that again when you move.
Yeah. Point is,
Um,
there are ways to keep in touch, and it's not
yeah,
the
write
same as putting,
letters, emails.
I'll send a pigeon your way.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you could.
Okay.
Are
I have
they
good ones. All right.
pigeon?
Oh my God. Okay, next question. Are there common misconceptions about moving for love and how can they be addressed?
I would say, yeah, there are.
Okay, give me one.
That you're just doing it for the other person.
Yeah. That was the one I was thinking about, where they say you're following them blindly.
Yeah.
Which, yeah, I think that's a misconception. I don't think that's always the case. And if it is, I also think that's okay. And like, I don't know, that's not something to be necessarily judged for. I don't know.
Yeah, I think,
Depends.
yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, that misconception could be true for some people and it cannot
Right.
be true in certain instances. But I, at the same time, like you said, I would hope that people are doing this as adults and know like what they're doing and the
Mhm.
consequences. But I do think that in certain situations, people can blindly just move for love. But
Mhm.
either way, like you'll figure out if it works or not, regardless of
Yeah.
your reasons. And at the same time, like who, like we talked about this before, like who cares? Like
Right.
people don't really, I mean, I don't know. It matters if there's like an unbalance of like, you know what I mean? Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, I would be worried in certain situations if there was like an imbalance of like
The give and take between the two.
the give and take between the relationships, or sometimes financially it could be an imbalance. And I don't know, like relationships are messy. Um and that could be a misconception.
But if there is an
Yeah.
imbalance and you're okay with it, I think that's fine. Like if that imbalance
Yeah.
works for you, like you're okay with
Yeah.
doing everything for your partner and just following them for whatever they got to do over there, and like that works for you, you're happy to do it and you want to do it. I think that's okay. I think that's why I feel like this is a misconception where it's
Yeah.
when you move for your partner, um most of the time I think the thought is that you're following them blindly, and that that's not necessarily the best thing to do, as if that's something, I don't know, like it seems, I think that's why I thought about it as a misconception, like it's like a bad thing to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't necessarily feel like it is all the time.
Mm.
I think it just depends on the person and the relationship and the situation.
Yeah, I think so. But I don't know. It feels like uneasy to just follow someone blindly because
I
those
feel like
things do
because I
happen
can't
in
see
real
you
life.
doing that. I can't see you specifically doing that. I know other people,
I
yeah, that have.
I know I can't. I know other people who have, and there definitely is like a power dynamic in the relationship that can create a toxic relationship. And that's what I mean by that. But I'm not saying that in every instance, this following your partner is a bad thing.
Yeah.
But I do think that there needs to be like certain safeguards or like things to think about or keep in mind. But yeah, I don't think that this happens with every single situation where someone moves for a partner.
Yeah. Any other misconceptions?
Hmm.
Is this a misconception that it's permanent?
I guess it can be, yeah. It can be a misconception.
Yeah. I
But
don't know.
it's not. I don't feel like it shouldn't be viewed that way. I mean, maybe sometimes it can be seen as permanent if that person doesn't have like the finances to like get out of that,
Yeah,
or like doesn't have like the family support or things like that to be able to
right.
do that. Then in that way it can feel like someone is stuck in the situation.
Yeah. That's a hard situation to be in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that's real. I'm very lucky to have the ability to, am not if I'm feeling stuck, I can come back. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but I know not everyone has that. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, no, it shouldn't. Most of the time, I don't think it is a permanent thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, people should be able to move freely.
Hmm. Agreed.
Okay.
Next.
How do you maintain your identity and personal goals when relocating for your partner?
Damn.
Dang, that's deep. That's deep.
How do you not
Um,
lose yourself, I guess? I don't know. Um, well, I'm gonna still try to do things that I like to do over there. I'm still gonna try to like meet my own friends and
mhm,
get into hobbies that make me happy. And still, we're
mhm,
still gonna be like she's gonna be in school and I'm gonna be working, and we're gonna spend a significant amount of time apart. Like we're still gonna be kind
mhm,
of what we're doing now, like kind of doing our own thing and then coming together and but still have our
mhm,
own lives in a sense. I don't know.
mhm.
What are your thoughts on that?
I don't know.
How'd
This
you
is
do it?
deep.
How did you do it? How did Jesus do it?
I feel like I've always had my own self of I always have maintained my own self identity. I pride myself in that I
Yeah.
have my own goals and my own like for my career. I always say my career, but that sounds like that irks me sometimes. But like in my interest and the things that I like, the things that I go out to do on my own, like
Hmm.
I've purposely done that, like gone to and done things by myself. Um, so yeah, I don't know. Like that's always been something that I pride myself in how I am.
Hmm.
So it's hard. I don't know. But I know, I guess thinking about it in the context of moving, so when Jesus moved to New York, like he did his own thing, like how you said, like he would go skating on his own, or he had a friend over there he would go skate with, and he would go play tennis, and he through
Hmm.
Facebook, he found people to play tennis with, and so encouraging each other to do things on our own was
Hmm.
something that we continue to do.
Yeah.
Um, so I guess, yeah, there's different ways to do that. But I think having my partner encourage me to do that on my own really helps.
Hmm.
So yeah, so Jesus is really good at like, oh, like your friend is here in town. Why don't you go to eat dinner with them? Or like pushing me to do things on my own too, because sometimes I yeah, get in my head about things.
And it seems like you have both been like that since the beginning. Like
Yeah.
you've always encouraged each other. I've noticed that,
Hmm.
like knowing you when y'all started dating, which was a while ago now, like y'all been together for a while, like you've
Yeah.
always been um very cohesive as a unit, but also very independent as individuals. And you have your
Yeah.
own interests and you support each other in that. And I feel like that never changed no matter where y'all were. Um,
Yeah.
which is cool. And I
Yeah.
hope that doesn't change for us either. Like we've always been that way too since the beginning. I
Hmm.
have my own interests, she has her own interests, and we do spend time alone or separate from each other. And then we always
Hmm.
value the time that we do have together. So it's like a nice
Hmm.
balance. I think if you can
Yeah.
do that, that's gonna be helpful.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool.
It's
Okay.
hard though.
I know it is hard. I think it's harder
Okay.
too when you move solely for the person, you know?
Yeah. So I want did Jasmine, how did Jasmine maintain her identity moving to Madison? Or like, I guess maybe that's something
Mm.
to ask her.
Yeah, that's something I would want to ask her, but I mean she has her job here and she has met people, like she's gone volunteering herself. Like she has found things
Mm-hmm.
to do herself. She's made friends with people from work. She's gone to certain
Mm-hmm.
events herself. So
Yeah.
she still very much stays true to what she wants to do. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and she's
Nice.
able to go through like the aviation, like the airport where she goes and does her flying lessons. So she's very busy doing things like working towards her own goals right now. Um,
Yeah.
she's working towards getting her private pilot's license right now. So
Mm-hmm.
I think she's always been a very independent person and has always been kind of doing things on her own. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, no, that did not change. At least I don't, I'm thinking that it didn't change when we
Mm-hmm.
started dating.
Mm-hmm. But is it even bad to change? I feel like we're talking about it as in a
Hmm.
bad way, I don't know. Because I feel like that's just how we are, but I'm sure with other relationships, people's relationships aren't like that. But we're talking about in a way that's like kind of
Yeah.
negative. I
I
don't
think
know.
some
Or
change is
maybe I'm
inevitable.
misunderstanding it. Huh?
No, I think some change is inevitable. Like now I do consider Jasmine a lot with certain decisions and like I ask for her
Mm-hmm.
opinion and we do make some
Mm-hmm.
decisions together. I think some of that
Mm-hmm.
change. I obviously I'm different than I would be single, Like there's
Mm-hmm.
certain decisions that we factor in together and that we make together. Um
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't think change is bad. Maybe it
No,
becomes
not change, but like maintaining your identity. Like we're talking about like,
well,
I
how
don't know, it
fixed is
just,
your identity?
huh?
How fixed is your identity? And how fixed are your goals? Like your goals can change.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but I felt like we were talking about that in like, I don't know, a negative way, but maybe
Okay.
not.
Oh, I mean, I can see that. I don't know. I feel like you and I have always been just very like we have our own goals and we have
Hmm.
things that we're working towards, and that's never
Yeah.
really changed with or without partners.
Yeah.
So not to say that it's bad if you do, but I think it's just that's how we are.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I guess people can be however they want to be.
Yeah. And take
Yeah.
this
Because
conversation how you want to take it.
yeah, because I feel like people do pride themselves in their identity of being a wife and being a mother and being a
Yeah.
provider and being a caretaker and putting people above or like not above but ahead of themselves and stuff like
Yeah.
that versus like yeah, I don't know, that's just something that I
Well,
thought about,
yeah. I mean, my part of my
but that's not a
identity,
bad thing.
right? No, and my identity has changed. Like I went from being
Hmm.
single to I am now a partner. I'm a girlfriend now. Like that's part of my identity. I'm a dog mom.
Hmm.
Like that's part of my identity. Like things can change.
Yes. Yeah, that's true. We'll talk about this in 2 years and see how much our identities have changed.
Yeah. I'll let you know how I'm doing in Texas.
Yeah. Well, you're gonna be in Texas while we record, so we'll see.
Yeah.
I'm excited to
Yeah.
hear
Oh
how your life will change.
my gosh.
Okay.
All right. Can relocating for love enhance or strain a relationship?
Both.
Jinx.
Is that what you said? You said both
I
too?
said both, yeah.
Okay, why?
Well, I think you said this earlier, but how when y'all moved to New York, it was kind of just you two, and so that kind of strengthened the bond a little bit more in the relationship because
Mm-hmm.
you were doing this together. So I think
Mm-hmm.
that's what's gonna happen with me and Jasmine. We don't know anybody over there. It's gonna be this is a big change for the both of us, and we're going on this journey together. I think that's gonna bring us. I think that would strengthen the relationship if anything.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah, I agree.
yeah. How could it strain a relationship?
Well, I think relationships are like they're not always just good. I think that people go through like life happens. Like you never know what life is gonna throw at you.
Yeah.
You can plan a lot and things sometimes don't work out. Like shit
Yeah.
happens in life. So then
Yep.
I think in general, like there's highs and lows in
Mm-hmm.
life. So there will be highs and lows in a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So in that way, I think, yeah, though it can strengthen, but also it cannot strengthen a relationship and it could lead to a breakup. It just depends on people's situations. So
Yeah. When I think about like us, like Relocating for Love's training a relationship, I think about we are two different people who are going to go through this change together, but we may experience it differently. And
Mm-hmm.
I may feel lonely and she may feel differently. And how are we going to show up for each other in those moments? And I
Mm-hmm.
think that's going to be that plays a big role. And I don't know, right? But I feel like if your partner is not showing up for you in those times that you really need them, like when you're really homesick, I don't know, as an example, or you're really
Mm-hmm.
missing your family, and it's nice for them to be there for you and have that support. When you don't have that, I can see
Yeah.
them leading, down a harder path, possibly straining
Mm-hmm.
and possibly leading to a breakup. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard.
Yeah, it's
It's a
just
hard thing to do.
yeah, I think yeah, you're right. It comes down to communication, how you show up for each other,
Yeah.
and yeah.
Okay. Are there specific red flags or warning signs that individuals should be aware of before deciding to move for their partner? Damn. Red flag. Where's my red
Red
flag?
flag.
I need a
You
red
have
flag.
one?
No. I'll pretend this is
Uh,
the red flag.
for real. Let me think. So what if she said I got into this school, I'm moving on this date
Ooh.
because I got this really great opportunity, blah 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 blah. Without discussing it with you.
Damn. Hmm. I don't think that's necessarily a red flag, but I would be like, what are your thoughts? Like, do you want me to go with you? Like,
Yeah.
what are you thinking? I would want to know more information.
Yeah.
I don't know. How would you feel if Jesus said that to you?
I wouldn't see it as a red. I mean, I guess it's situational. If we were married, then I would be upset. But we've been together for a while, for a long time, so I would still feel some type of way if we hadn't had a discussion about it. I
Yeah.
think that's pretty normal. Um, but yeah, I agree that like you said, like, do you want me to come? Like, how long are you gonna be? Congrats. I don't know. It's like cool story. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's hilarious. Congrats. Good for you.
Good for you.
Yeah. Well, that's so funny. Yeah,
That's
that's real.
hilarious.
What if you're not agreeing on anything in terms of the logistics, the moving, like the date, like you're just not on the same page about
Yeah.
how to go about the move?
Yeah. I guess if you can't agree on anything,
Yeah.
then your relationship is a red flag.
Damn, the whole relationship. She
I
said
mean,
the
if you
whole
can't, but if you can't agree on anything, not even one thing, like not even one thing, then yeah, I would say that's a red flag. Like people should be able to agree.
I think that's a red flag for sure.
Um, you're like on the whole relationship. I mean, if you can't agree on anything, I do
I mean,
think
for the
another red.
move, pertaining to the move, like you can't agree
Oh,
on
the
anything.
move.
Yeah.
That'd be weird. Like having you not agree on one thing. I don't know. That's weird. Yeah,
Or
but I would say
most
that's a
things.
red
I don't
flag.
know. Like if you're just not um on the same page about it
Hmm.
all. You got to really talk about it. And if you're still not on the same
Sounds
page, then
complicated.
I don't know.
I know. Okay, another red flag. I would say, yeah, if there's like really like, in certain situations where people love bomb another person right away and then want them to move, like,
What?
like drop everything, let's go. Like, you know what I mean? Like, have you ever I was listening to this podcast episode
Uh-huh.
where Out of the Pods with Deepti and Natalie from Love is Blind. And
Mm-mm.
so they've talked about their like relationships experiences. And so they've talked a lot about love bombing, like another person love bombing them, and then have like what certain people have done is that like they love bomb the person to the point of convincing them to move and then kind of just ghosting that person or like just not treating them well. um so I guess like
Hmm.
I don't know how to explain
That
this, but
sounds like manipulation. Like I'm love bombing you, not because I actually love you, but because I want you to do this thing for me.
yeah, but people are like that.
Yo,
People love
that is
bomb to
a major,
manipulate.
major red flag.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a red flag for me. Damn. I guess people do that, huh? That's
Or
crazy.
like maybe it doesn't have to involve a move, but yeah, really like love bombing someone to the point where they start being in a relationship, and once they're in that relationship, then they just
Yeah.
change and they're not the same person anymore.
Yeah. Then you really got to reevaluate the whole relationship.
Yeah. Um
What if you're feeling pressured to move? Or if they give you an ultimatum, like you have to move, you move with me, or I can't do long distance, so we need to break up.
yeah,
Is that a red
that's
flag, or is
tough.
it them setting specific boundaries? I don't know, man. I don't know.
I don't know.
I mean, it's risky
Um
to say, I do not want to do long distance with you. It's too hard for me. And that's a limit I have to set. So,
yeah, I don't think it's a red flag.
okay.
I think it's that person setting like a boundary or an expect. I don't know if that's a good thing to say. It depends. It depends on how long they've been together.
Yeah.
Um, but I do think I don't know. I don't think that would be a red flag
Hmm.
because maybe long distance just doesn't work.
Hmm.
Will not work for them. But to say that to their person, I don't know, because you had mentioned that you couldn't do long distance. And I think when I had talked to Jesus about going to New York,
Hmm.
we didn't want to do long distance because we started long distance. So we
Yeah.
didn't want to do long distance again. But
Hmm.
I didn't, mm, but I didn't, I knew that we could do it at long distance again, but did I want to? No.
Yeah.
But it, I wouldn't say that's an ultimatum,
Yeah.
or maybe it is. I don't,
Some people could take it as that because
yeah.
your partner is telling you, there's two options here. We move together or we break up because I'm not going to do long distance. I can't do it again.
Well, in that situation, that is an ultimatum. But what I was talking about is like either we move together, or we can do long distance. Or
So
and
for
if it
you, long
doesn't work
distance
out,
was still an option.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Versus
I
like
guess, yeah. Hmm.
in other situations, it's long distance. Or no, it's moving or breaking up.
Yeah.
Which I think, if
That's a red
yeah, I
flag. Is
think
that a red flag or is that a boundary?
I don't know. I think it's a boundary. I mean, I wouldn't do it, and I
Yeah.
wouldn't want somebody to do that on me.
Yeah.
I think it depends.
Okay. Let's end on a good note
Yep.
because relocating for love can be a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's an act of love. It's like what you see in like a lot of movies, like just how overwhelmed you are with loving somebody that you're willing to like move for them.
Yeah. Oh, it's so sweet. I like how you put it that way.
I mean, it is true.
Yeah.
It's a way to show someone that you like love them and have their back and care for them.
So what are some positive outcomes or personal growth experiences that can result from relocating for love?
Ooh,
Well, it can
that's a
strengthen
good
the
one.
relationship. We already talked about
Yep.
that.
You learn how to make new friends,
Yeah.
people skills, I guess.
Yeah. I think there was
You
oh, go ahead.
I feel like there comes a lot of growth, not just like with your partner, but like on your own too.
Yeah. I think there's something cool about starting something new together. I think
Mm-hmm.
I think that's something I'm most excited about is
Mm-hmm.
going to we both have never lived in Texas. This is going to be a brand new thing for the both of us, but it's cool to do it together.
Yeah.
I think something like building from scratch is exciting, and to do it with someone else is that much more exciting.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Good things can come out of this, and good things will come out of this.
Yes. Yep, it will.
Okay, we're going to leave y'all with some advice. So, what advice, Michelle, do you have for
Mm.
people who are maybe hesitant about relocating, want to make it work? what advice can we give to people to have them to have this be a good experience?
I mean, I can't say if it'll be a good experience. It'll be an experience.
Yeah.
Um, but I would just say to for people to just communicate, I guess, with your partner from the very beginning of
Mm-hmm.
thinking about relocating. What does that look like? What are, like you said, what are the logistics behind it, finances,
Mm-hmm.
talking through all of that, and then also figuring out once you're already at the new place, relocating, how can you support one another, people you could reach out to, and just maintaining that communication and showing up for each other. And also being understanding if, that person doesn't really like where they move to, and if it's not working out for them, then how can you work together to figure that out?
Yeah. I think it's okay, like if you're hesitant to move, I think it's okay to have a conversation about long distance and seeing if that's even an option for y'all. And if it is, great.
Mm-hmm.
If it's not, okay, then where do we go from here?
Mm-hmm.
You can also try it and see how it goes in terms of like moving for for your partner. You can try it, and if it doesn't go as planned or you're not happy, see what other options you have, whether it's moving back or
Yeah, moving
I don't
somewhere
know.
else together, somewhere new.
Yeah, moving somewhere else together. Therapy is always great. Talking to your
Mm-hmm.
loved ones is always great. Well, not always great. It
Mm-hmm.
depends for everybody, but talking to loved
Mm-hmm.
ones, talking to friends, if you need to talk to someone else to kind of process things, I don't know.
Yeah.
Talk to your partner. Obviously, that's number one, is have that conversation. Have lots of conversations.
I think also validating each other's feelings is
Yes.
important. I feel like a lot of the times too, people go through experiences and not really understanding the emotions that they're going through until later on. So
Mm-hmm.
also having conversations later about how that experience went. If
Mm-hmm.
you happen to either move back or move somewhere else, and
Mm-hmm.
then learning from that experience.
Or check in on each other even if you're still there and it's been some time that you're still
Mm-hmm.
in that new place together. Checking in on each
Yeah.
other, I think is good.
Mm-hmm.
Yay.
Yay. I'm just copying you. Yay.
You're hilarious. Yeah.
um,
So I'm excited for this. We'll see how everything goes. If anybody listening has relocated for love or has had an experience similar to this, we'd love to hear
mhm.
about your
Yeah,
experience.
let us know. I feel like it's common. A lot of people do this.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, I know
Hmm.
friends that have done it, so
Yeah.
but it's good to talk about it because for me,
Yeah.
this is the first. So I
I
don't know.
know.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm gonna go
We'll
and
follow up with you.
yeah, follow up. I will follow up too. I'm gonna use
Yeah.
Jasmine's words and say that I'm going with an open heart and an open mind, and I'm
Hmm.
just gonna receive whatever happens.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling it's gonna be good. I'm excited for it.
Yeah. I'm sure it'll be really good. I mean,
Yeah.
you're both
Mhm.
working for the future. So
Yeah.
yeah, it'll be good. I'm excited for you, excited for Jasmine. It's not like it's a goodbye forever. We'll
Right.
still be in touch.
Hmm.
I'll come visit, or you can come visit. And yeah, it'll be a good adventure. And
Yeah.
yeah, it'll be good.
I'm
I'm
excited.
excited.
I'm excited. I'm excited.
Hmm.
So maybe we'll do one more recording before I move, and then yeah, we'll continue
And
the
then
podcast as
Texas.
normal. I'll just be recording from Texas.
I'm excited to see what your new place is gonna look
Um,
like your routine. It'll be
the
exciting.
weather, man, you
Yeah.
know what? The weather is gonna be great.
Oh yeah, it's
So
gonna be
used
hot.
to, well, during the winter is gonna be great. I'm so used to having such cold winters.
Yeah.
So this is a change. That's gonna be quite a change.
Yeah, what are you gonna do with all your like jackets, and do you have snow boots and stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm holding on to my snow boots now because we're
Yeah,
still in Wisconsin and it's already started to snow, but I'm
sure.
going to donate or, yeah, I'm probably going to donate
Mhm.
them.
But I mean, if you ever come back, maybe just keep them. I
I
mean, like to
could.
visit, when if you
Yeah.
ever come for like winter
Hmm.
or like Christmas or something like that, like
Yeah.
it'll probably be snowing.
And it actually has snowed in Texas before.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Better
We are
check your
trying to pack
pipes.
super light though. Like we sold so many things
Oh
and
yeah, so you're driving, right?
yeah, we're driving it down. It's about a 15-hour drive.
Not bad, not bad.
So it's not too bad. Eric's gonna come help us, so that's gonna be nice. So it'll be the three
Yeah.
of us in
You should
Texas.
vlog it.
We're thinking about it. We're thinking
Do
about
it.
it.
It'll be fun.
Okay, we'll record it. Maybe we'll post some things on our Instagram, so stay
Yeah.
for that.
Yeah,
Um,
that'll be good.
and we'll
I'm
let you
excited.
know. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it'll be good. Well, keep us updated. We'll check in with you. I mean, we're gonna try to record one before and then
Yes.
the one after. And then you'll spend New Year's there?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Just me,
Nice.
Jasmine, and Eric.
Cool. It'll be fun.
Yeah. All right, y'all. We'll catch you for the next one, which will hopefully be up before Christmas, and then we'll
Yep.
catch you after the new year after that. So
Sounds
uh,
good.
stay tuned. We'll catch you at the next one. Bye, y'all.
Okay. Bye.